Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. Your dial is set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're broadcasting live 2 hours today, and we're delighted that you're here. John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota at Genesis Communications Network. Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. Welcome, Rick.
Good morning, Rick. Yeah, I know. It's good morning, man. It's nice to talk with you.
It's great to be on the air with you. Rick, I got to tell you.
In the moon somewhere, right? Over by that crater.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of craters, Rick, I understand. I understand. There's a huge hole out your way.
It's on. It's Highway 101, the primary highway that goes up and down Oregon, the coast. And it's Highway 101, the old military highway, and it's got a huge sinkhole that continues to sink because, guess what? The whole coastline is tunneled, and is why it won't exist at some point when there's an 8.4 off of Crescent City. That's what they're saying.
That's pretty serious, Rick. And
yes, welcome to the free state of Jefferson.
Yeah, now I understand that
things just like you do. I mean, really, it's pretty serious. There was a 7.4 up in Alaska, and 20 different volcanoes went off this last week. Now, that is world records being broken every day with earthquakes and volcanoes. And what do you think that means?
Well, Rick, I'm looking at this post that you've linked on your website, docram.com, DOCRAM.com. By the way, for those of you new to this broadcast, Dr. Richard Allen Miller is the real Fox Mulder of the X-Files. And on your website, docram.com, there is this link to a post about the Cascadia subduction zone, and it's this line that travels roughly north and south that includes the coast, just off the coast of Washington State, Oregon, and California.
It goes up as far as Alaska, and it's through the Aleutians, so it all the way down to Peru. That entire shelf is going to go, according to military projections, with an 8.4 that will 8.4 or more will probably cause that shelf to go. And the problem is there's lots of predictive people, from Scallion to Casey, the list goes on, saying so. New Jerusalem, according to Casey, is when Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Olympus go off. And what happens next is Seattle's gone, and there's a new island that appears as New Jerusalem in his predictions, of the future.
Rick, I'm looking at this post, and it says with 8 earthquakes in the last 8 days, 153 in the last month, and 1,666 earthquakes. That's 1,666 earthquakes in the last year. It says that the Earth's warning us that the 72-year overdue big one is closer than we think. Now, we've been talking about...
The deal. And here's the point. There's only one thing that causes that kind of an event, and that's our sun. And our sun is being disturbed by something. And, of course, NASA came out months ago, and that with now Caltech, talking about a second solar system intermixed with ours around our sun as a binary, like most other star systems in our neighborhood. Now, and so that includes Wormwood, Nibiru, and the rest of it. And nobody has a clue what that's all about yet, except it's coming in off elliptic around Neptune and absolutely is having an effect on our sun, which will absolutely affect the Earth.
So, Rick, what do we do to prepare for these kind of events? We talk about what we see, we connect the dots, and then we try to explain what to do.
Listen, there is a movie that just came out. It's in the theaters right now. That is in my opinion, a must-see. It's called Fifth Wave. Have you seen that yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, so the movie is sci-fi and it's Hollywood, but an alien craft out past Mars is moving toward Earth. Is the way that starts the movie, and some high school kids look out their high school window and they see this craft hovering. It's just like in Independence Day, but except the craft doesn't do anything. It just sits there for the next month, and then, without warning, there is an EMP strike that drops the entire Earth down into the Stone Age. That's wave 1. Wave 2 is the earthquake flooding. Wave 3 is a pandemic. Guess what wave 5 is? Taking our children and training them as soldiers to go do the mop-up of remaining survivors. And what happens next in the movie, like Rwanda and Nigeria, abomination. It's Hollywood, which means the kids figure it out at the end of the movie and watch how the movie ends. It's actually a good ending in that sense of it, but it is a repeat now of the X-Files, and what their theme is, it's no longer about aliens. It's about alien technology that fell into the wrong hands 70 years ago, and now there is a manipulation of all of us toward control.
Very interesting that you said that, Rick, because it seems like that's really what happened. Technology, whether it be alien or our own, is in the wrong hands, and it's being used against us. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about pollution. And what I've seen, Rick, as I've been traveling through the East Coast and the Midwest, when I go to cities, I see these city buses. And the city buses have these new exhaust systems. And the exhaust systems are not low below the bumper, as traditionally exhaust systems have been engineered and placed. The city buses have the exhaust systems where the exhaust pipe is almost like a musical instrument now. It's not like just a piece of pipe that exits the cabin or the vehicle. It's this thing that spreads out the exhaust, and it mixes with air. So they use like a venturi almost to grab air and mix the air with the exhaust, so the exhaust is diluted with the air near the exhaust pipe. What I'm saying is that's a disguise. It's a disguise for the amount of pollution that's coming out, so it's less visible to we the villagers. And then Chevrolet has a diesel pickup truck that uses what looks like almost a modified megaphone for their exhaust system that has a great big exhaust pipe or exhaust tip, and air is under vacuum brought into the exhaust tip, so it mixes with this diesel exhaust, so you can't see as much of the exhaust, or maybe it helps it pass the emission test. And what I'm saying, Rick, is we are disguising what we are doing to the planet. That's what I'm saying. And we shouldn't be disguising the problems. We should be solving the problems. Like Volkswagen, with their computer software that disguised the engine emissions so that when the exhausts were tested at the motor vehicle testing centers at idle, the exhaust would have less pollution than the engine would make at cruising speed or operating speed. We're kidding ourselves.
I don't have answers to that. I know that the real pollution is invisible, like methane hydrate. You can't see it. I know that they purposefully put odors into different kinds of gases, like propane, so that you can identify one gas over another that would otherwise remain odorless. This technology is now being played backwards for hide and seek. And while I don't really know the figures, my guess is the Earth is about to localize the infection, and that these earthquakes and rumbles of volcanoes going off, the amount of ash that goes into the air. I was at the second blow of Mount St. Helens. I was right next to it. I had to escape. I actually lived through that whole thing and watched eastern Washington get 2 inches of free topsoil from that mountain in terms of ash. You couldn't even see the ground in all parts of eastern Washington where I lived after that specific volcano, Mount St. Helens, went off. It was really, really weird. Now, the good news is that's like getting free soil. It's primo minerals and things like that. So it was a way of regenerating a lot of farmland in the eastern side of the state. But, that was so fine a particle that one of the things you had to do was once I got home, I could not drive my car until I cleaned it, because that volcanic ash would have ruined my engine. And it just goes right through everything. No filters that stop that stuff.
Mm-hmm. One of our instructors, Andy Gibbs, was in California when that went off, and he immediately rented a U-Haul truck, and he bought some shovels, and he drove out to where the ash landed, and he shoveled it in this.
It's everywhere, yeah.
And he brought a truckload of that ash back to his garage in California, and I have a bottle of it that he gave me from that.
I was next to Mount St. Helens when it went off. We were camping on the coast, and when it came off, I was watching this cement.
Hold that thought.
Learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. DocRam.com. DocRam.com. Or you can go to richardallenmiller.com. Richard, A-L-A-N, Miller.com. Rick, I was talking with an engineer last night. We were having dinner, and we were talking about what the problems are. And I mentioned this bill that USA Prepares has announced that should be adopted into law, and that is that no trash or toxic waste shall cross state lines, district boundaries, or Commonwealth boundaries. So what I mean by that is if there's toxic waste from one state, it shall not enter another state. So New York City shall not move its trash into the Commonwealth of Virginia or Kentucky or any other place. If New York wants to produce things and consume things, then the trash that goes along with that consumption and production stays right there in the state. So there is no trash or toxic waste that crosses state lines. This engineer said something very interesting. He said, well, what about Washington, D.C.? And I said, well, that's exactly the point. So if Washington, D.C. wants to consume, then they're going to have to figure out what to do with their trash. So if consumers want to buy a 60-inch television to go along with their 48-inch television and their other televisions, then they're going to have to figure out what to do with the packaging that television comes in, the styrofoam, the cardboard, the plastic, and so forth. And if they want to buy like headphones, like I bought headphones for this broadcast that was in an overpackaged plastic capsule, if you will. Way too much packaging for this particular product. Well, I'd like to see us stop that. And the way to do that is not allow the trash to cross state lines. That means that I would have to figure out what to do with this plastic packaging rather than just throw it in the trash and have it end up someplace that I don't have to worry about it. It just, for the short run. So I just throw the trash out, So the garbage man picks up the trash can, or we take it to the landfill, and then it's gone. We don't look at it anymore until future generations have to deal with the problems that we've created. But if we had laws that said you shall not move trash or toxic waste across boundaries, I think that would solve most of our problems. What do you think, Rick?
You know, it's interesting that in the United States, the primary handlers of our dumps and waste is the mafia. And that in other countries, and Japan, it's Yakuza and the other associated relationships, waste management. I think that's the first problem right there. Who's managing the waste?
It's interesting you say that because I interviewed a man from Japan, and this was probably a year ago. And I was on the phone, a conference call with one of our other instructors. And what happened was exactly what you said. The Yakuza was involved in removing trash from the big cities. And they found this quarry. And they just, this big excavated hole in the ground, and they just started filling this quarry with trash and toxic materials that were used from manufacturing processes. They were too dangerous to put anyplace else. They didn't know how to handle it, so they externalized the removal of this toxic waste. They buried it. The rains came. The water ran through the trash, came downhill, and contaminated the water supply in the city. And there's a big cover-up going on about that. So is that any different from what we do here? No. We have Love Canal, right? Remember that? With the Hooker Chemical Company produced all this toxic waste.
Corporation up in Connecticut. The list goes on and on and on. The problem is that it is our technologies are about recycle. They're not about recycle. The concept of plastic and the wrapping of things in non-organic materials create a situation where there's always going to be a byproduct of waste left over. Mostly, a lot of our products that we buy are way over packaged. I can't even get into them with a drill or a buzzsaw, trying to open the package. Often I will break things trying to break through the seal.
Yeah. Well, I carry a knife at all times, and so does Mrs. Finelli.
I don't have an answer to this. I can tell you that Fukushima right now has no solution for cleanup.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care, as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria, which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. Rick, so we're talking about pollution, and what I see is people are leaving their lights on. They have these lights by their garage, and they leave them on all night long in case somebody, comes home. Maybe one of their teenagers comes home late, so they leave the lights on that are outside, and they're left on all night long, and then they're left on during the day. And so I was talking with this engineer, and he wanted to know my solution. So I said that this bill would be a great solution, and it would force us to reduce our consumption. And most people don't want to reduce their consumption. They want to live in this disposable society where if you want to dry your hands, you use a paper towel and you throw it away. Well, I mean, that takes trees to do that, takes chemicals to do that, that causes waste and air pollution and energy to be used. What's wrong with using a dish towel and hang it on the handle of the stove, and then wash it every once in a while, and instead of just filling up the landfill? Well, we talk about just throwing away things, and it's as if once we throw it away, we don't have to ever worry about it. But that is not the case, Rick. In St. Louis, just outside of St. Louis, they've been burying trash for decades. And, we don't have to worry about it because it's all covered up, and there's a liner under all this trash. Well, that's one little problem when the liner gets perforated and we start polluting the aquifer below the liner. But that's just one little problem. A bigger problem another little problem is these landfills tend to catch on fire because they're producing methane underground. And so in St. Louis, there's this landfill that's on fire. That's the little problem. The water pollution's a little problem. The big problem is right next to the landfill, 900 feet away, is a radioactive waste dump from the Manhattan Project.
Heard what happened in Stockton last month, where there was a fire, a pit fire, and there was an explosion where two 55-gallon drums were blown into the air, and they were full of radioactive waste material that had been unrecorded buried.
Stockton, California.
That was in California, and now that thing down in L.A. has reached proportions where they are continuing to evacuate people because they can't and have not put a cap on it.
All right. What you're talking about is this large methane leak in Los Angeles in a neighborhood where they have used a former oil well that they've pumped natural gas into to store natural gas in this big hole underground, right? And it's leaking and they can't stop it and they don't know what to do, right?
Yes, that's the one we're talking about. And now you realize it's happening other places like Hanford. It's in all through the Midwest. I'm reading now about a number of municipalities that are delivering toxic water to the constituents, with lead in it, not just Detroit.
We had one of our instructors from the Springfield, Missouri area. His name is Richard Linebaugh. And Richard Linebaugh is the CEO of a well drilling company. And he was telling us that the first aquifer, when you drill down to get water in the Springfield, Missouri area, the first aquifer you hit is polluted. It's unusable for potable, water. They had to go below that aquifer to get to the next one down, 650 feet, to have, cleaner, safer drinking water because we've destroyed the first one. Can you imagine that?
I don't understand. The issue, in my opinion, is on the concept of consumerism and the idea that rather than fix something or clean it, you replace it when it's broken, like a television.
I remember those bald-headed shills on those financial programs, like Kramer and guys like that. And they were talking about the economy when the economy collapsed around, a little less than 10 years ago. It started collapsing. And they were saying, yeah, but the consumers are going to come to the rescue. Now, what the heck is a consumer? That's a person who doesn't do anything, who buys stuff, right? So we have these people who don't do it.
Rather than fixing it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think consumers, I certainly would not want somebody to call me a consumer. I think that would be an insult. What do you think, Rick?
Well, it's like I used to have, when I had a property like you, I had bone piles. I'd have a wood pile, I had a metal pile, and glass pile. Rather than throw things away, I put them in organized areas so that if I needed a piece of sheet metal or I needed a lead pipe, I had a little boneyard I could go to recycle. We don't do that anymore. Even with canning jars and the rest of it, it's like we throw everything away. Everything that is packaged is in plastic type. It's not made with rice hulls. And in our state of Oregon now, there are laws prohibiting the use of that plastic tote rather than paper.
You're talking about those Walmart-type shopping bags that end up in the trees and blow down the highways and get caught in fences?
Or in some bird's gut because they ate it mistakenly and it's killing them. Like the oceans and the amount of pearling of these little pieces of plastic that never break down on our ocean floor now is actually, in fact, changing the different parts of the habitat there. Literally encouraging and discouraging certain kinds of life forms.
And what about these little plastic balls that are in toothpaste that are supposedly there to help clean our teeth? Now, these are little, very, very, very tiny plastic balls, and they get under the gum, cause gum disease, and when we spit out the toothpaste and rinse our mouth, it goes down the drain, goes into the sewer system. And then what happens to all of that sludge when the municipalities are done with it? They take out the sludge, they dry it in the sun, and then maybe maybe they dump it in the ocean, or maybe they give it to farmers or people who want to grow a garden, and they put this human waste and toxic substance that in Philadelphia, they used to call it Philly soil. And you could go and get that stuff for free and put it on your garden. So what would it be? That would be, let's say you paint your dining room and you wash out the brush in your kitchen sink, because brushes are $20 for a good brush, or maybe even more. So you don't want to throw out that brush. You want to use it again and again and again. So you rinse that brush out, and the paint that was on the brush goes down the drain, goes into the sewer system. It mixes with all the other stuff, the hospital stuff that goes down the drain, and all these toxic chemicals. And of course, when you flush your toilet, that goes down there too. All these things go into this sludge that you too can put on your garden. Think about that.
Yeah, well, there's more in that big picture with the way houses are built and the way they used to be built, and how before it get that brush paint goes down into the municipality, where it starts is your pipes. And you have to go in and rooter and clean your pipes of the sludge. Often it's hair that tangles with this stuff. And the plastics, like when I shop now, they ask me paper or plastic. I will not ever use plastic to include meat going in with my bread. I just am not going to do that because I don't want it. The meat's already been packaged in plastic. There's enough of that wrap and the container that it's wrapped in on meat that is, where does that go, and when does that break down into nothing?
Rick, the first house that Mrs. Finelli and I bought was built, believe it or not, in 1945. And it had the original kitchen cabinets. And when you opened one of the base cabinets, there was a spot that you could put the grocery bags, those brown grocery bags. You could collapse them, fold them back the way they came from the factory, and you could put them into this cabinet where you could save the kitchen bags, or the bags for kitchen trash or whatever else you want to use them for again. That was the thinking back in 1945. I have yet to see a modern kitchen cabinet made in the last 20 years that has that feature. Why? Because where are those paper sacks? You hardly see them.
DuPont and started using plastic. And they say they're out of rice hulls. Candidly, I have never seen those white paper plastic bags, that are easy to carry, lots and lots of heavy weight. I've never seen them break down in nature. And that's the refuge piles that are currently run by the various mafias, or what we call, fringe.
Mm-hmm. I went to Harbor Freight tools yesterday. I needed to buy I bought a trailer. I'm traveling, and I bought a trailer that I want to take back to Missouri. So I needed a few parts for this trailer, and I got these items at Harbor Freight, and they were made out of steel. Double bagged it. I didn't get out of the door of Harbor Freight before these items were falling through the bag. The double bag. The bags that we're now using are really, really flimsy. So even if you wanted to reuse them, it's hard to reuse these bags. So I'd like to get back to paper. And Rick, I've got this little project I was working on. I was helping someone where I was modifying their heating system, and I needed 6 machine screws. Well, like number 6 machine screws, 1 inch long. I just needed 6 of them. So I got on the internet, and I was looking. I'm in a city, and I was looking for a hardware store where I could just buy 6 screws, because I did not want to have all of the excess packaging, this clear type packaging, so I could see the screws in the package. I just wanted 6. Rick, I could not find a traditional hardware store of 2 decades ago in the city. There is none that I can find where I can just go into one of those bins and count out 6 screws and bring them to the cash register and pay for them. You have to buy some number that they want you to buy that is way overpackaged. I only need 6 screws. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. So what I ended up doing is going to Harbor Freight and getting like 550 screws. I'll use them, but
yeah.
I only needed 6.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
If survivalist housing has been in your plans, get ready. We're bringing our Timberline range camps to you February 6th through 14th, the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Get an up-close look at some of our most popular Timberline models, or visit survivalistcamps.com to pre-order a camp. We'll bring it to the show and save you the cost of shipping. It's the perfect time to get that camp you've wanted. Go to survivalistcamps.com, then plan on joining us at the Great American Outdoor Show in February in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Average weight lost in a study was 8.3 pounds and 4.2 inches total in first month. Results vary. Call to cancel within 14 days and return remaining non-frozen food for a refund, less return shipping. Free shakes with first order only.
All right, guys. The holidays are over and we have got some weight to lose. Let's do this. It's going to take pizza, some pasta, some chicken parm, great foods, all part of the awesome new Turbo 10 program from Nutrisystem. You'll love it. Money back guaranteed. Lose up to 10 pounds and 5 inches in your first month. Look, you keep putting it off, you'll keep putting it on. So call Nutrisystem today and get 4 weeks of delicious meals and 1 week of Nutrisystem's new Turbo Shakes free. Packed with protein plus probiotics to help support digestive health and bust that gut. You'll also get a week of Nutri-Crush Shakes to crush hunger free. Come on, lose up to 10 pounds and 5 inches in your first month. Call 866-987-THIN. 866-987-THIN. Make the call. 866-987-THIN.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us, DocRam.com. Hey, Rick, a couple weeks ago...
Hey, wait a minute, Ben. Yeah. Before you do that, we were having a discussion here that might be relevant to what we've been discussing here.
Okay.
Here. When you buy meat at the store, how do you get it?
When if we've decided that we're not going to do that anymore, but in the past, and I bought a commercial bandsaw, a meat saw that used to be used at the Tyson chicken plant. It's about 6 feet tall, weighs several hundred pounds, and I bought a commercial meat grinder, and I bought commercial equipment so that we'll never buy beef again at the store and never buy chicken again at the store. That is our plan. So, but prior to a few weeks ago, and embarking on that, we used to go to Sam's Club and we buy ground beef in these large tubs, the largest size tubs that they would have, and they were wrapped in a plastic tray with a little piece of absorbent material beneath the meat, and then plastic shrink wrap on it. We'd take that.
How much is that weight in the whole of purchasing?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Cents?
What was the question?
Yeah, well, what is the difference between the weight of a throwaway material and the meat actually getting consumed? Is it maybe a tenth, 20th, a quarter?
What is the waste of the percentage of
the garbage that you're throwing away?
Very light, Rick, because I would say maybe 1%.
So that plastic, that their tub, that you put an absorbent material, will never break down over 100 years. It will still break. When it deteriorates, it breaks down into smaller pieces of plastic, but the plastic doesn't go down into inorganic salts. It remains plastic. Who is profiting from that? Not the meat people. Who's profiting from that packaging material?
Well, obviously that'd be the plastic manufacturing companies and the petrochemical companies, right?
Okay, so there's another petrochemical thing where alcohol, which is the way all of our automobiles used to be run, are burned clean.
Yeah, if you take an alcohol lamp, and doctors' offices used to have alcohol lamps that they'd use to sterilize some of their equipment, there was no smell. There's absolutely no smell. The flame, there's no soot, no smell. Yeah, you're right.
The packaging industry is where your first layer of pollution begins. And when I was a kid in Seattle, we separated metal from glass and paper, wood products, things that could burn. You separated them into 6 different trash cans. Today, in Grants Pass, 45, 50 years later, we are not actually doing that. Grace said, you're one of the only people I've ever seen that had more than 2 or 3 different recycle things where you put different things in. And what I'm having to do is try to train people to think about why you put it in this bag, not that bag, so that when I go out to the burn barrel, I'm not pulling out pieces of glass that didn't burn in the burn barrel, and that my ash in the burn barrel is semi-clean. Now, you will find that when you buy tools and other kinds of things like that, there's cardboard and plastic that have been married together that you can't separate. Do you put it in a burn barrel or do you put it in a trash barrel? And when you watch how the trash dump behind the city, it raises, and how big it's been in 20 years from when you remember delivering garbage to the dump and how big the dump is today, that is where the first area of problem is coming. And it's all about the concept of consumerism and overpackaging everything.
Rick, we're putting the garbage in the wrong places. We need to put it in the backyard of the governor's houses and the mayor's houses. Hey, Rick, when we come back, I'll tell you about my adventure with Social Security. That's another story. Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. I'm Vin Finelli. This is USAPrepares.com. Right after these short commercial announcements, we'll be back.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
We don't have to hold it.
Wow, are the commercials over already?
Yeah, I'm talking here to my people too.
Hey, Rick.
I miss your company, Vincent. I want to, this virtual crap on the radio and things like that, this isn't working for me.
What's not working for you?
I'd like your ass out here so I can show you my place like you've shown me yours.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I will talk to those at the farm and see if I can make that happen. Seriously, well, but Rick, at the top of the hour,
and your boy came so that I could show you some bunkers. I mean, the concrete ones, the ones that they're here.
Well, let's do it before the West Coast sinks.
Disappears.
Rick, at the top of the hour news, there was the golfer. The golfer was saying, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear." Well, I think he's right. He has. The golfer has given us a spirit of fear. He has caused the villagers in the United States of America to despise their government and not trust a single politician. He has caused this.
I saw a thing Joey sent me that would indicate that 100% of America now has some issue of distrust with the American government, that they are no longer servants and or representing us, that they are the enemy in some way or form.
If you're looking for disagreement, you're not going to get it from me.
Well, I don't know what this means. I know that in Oregon, our police forces have been infiltrated. Certainly, Oath Keepers have. The Bundys and Burns, Oregon. You saw how that played out, correct?
Sure.
Are you aware that there's a video out now absolutely indicating that half the people that were Oath Keepers were actors?
Well, I was on the phone with a guy who will remain nameless. And, he can say this himself if he'd like to, but he was there. And he was telling me that he was in the presence, he was going to go on the radio and start talking about some of these, what was happening. And he was going to come on with me a couple Tuesdays ago. And he said that a person received a package in the U.S. mail, and it contained medical marijuana. And he was, wondering what was that all about. And I said, it seems to me that would be a great thing to do, to plant marijuana in the living quarters of the people who are at the federal building. And the idea would be that the FBI would come in and bust them all and say, look at these guys. This is who you think that these guys are representing the American freedom fighters? No, they're using, marijuana and that kind of thing, and to paint them as if they are something that they weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are just smoking dope and occupying the federal building.
Yes. But actually, all the Oath Keepers, I had a friend over here the other day that is a retired policeman that went into a different form of law enforcement with animals and things like that. And he said that he would have nothing to do with the police forces here, didn't want to participate, and that at the moment that they drafted him into a patrol car would tell me, that it was over. That's how we know what'll happen. They're making them, when they retire, to sign certain kinds of behavior waivers so they can be drafted again, even as ex-retired police. And it's happening out here on the West Coast. I have no idea what your Midwest is like, but I saw the difference in police forces on one farm at the start of the state and the other. And yours was about income, and the other, I don't know if it was serve and protect or not. That's more covert, like where they're more careful what they do in public eyes. But something is amiss here on the West Coast. And it's about money. BLM is the culprit, giving away our natural resources to China as part of the national debt. That is exactly what's happening. That's what happened down at Bundy Ranch. And the reason you can't support the Bundy Ranch movement is because of the old man, not the kids. The old man's a criminal. He has purposefully not paid in that posse comitatus thing where he was using land that was actually, put aside for federal. Now, there is a little-known water rights, riparian water rights law that allows, if the land in question has not been in front of a federal judge, that the local municipality can take over management of the national forest and the state lands with BLM or Department of Natural Resources, DNR. And there's 3 different groups now, one in the Sierra Madres, that are doing that, and China is moving in on us out here. They own 50% of Grants Pass, Oregon, and it's about our logging. And what happens next is, in the next 10 years, China will come in to collect their debt by logging the stuff that has been put aside as natural, federal lands protected, like spotted owl.
You're talking about China, Rick. I bought
all the utilities in Canada now with the Maple Leaf Fund was how Hong Kong, when they invaded Vancouver, BC, and the new stock exchange and all the things that are going on up there, China moved in and took over all the utilities. That's what essentially Bundy Ranch was about. China was going in with solar panels. And then they had the cattle on that land, and so they worked around turtles like they did spotted owl. We have a recipe out there for flambé, spotted owl flambé. A little bit of dash of public scrutiny, and you got it all spiced up, ready to go.
Rich, I bought this trailer and traveling out of the state of Missouri, and I needed to get a ball mount, and that's that square tube guy that you you put into the receiver on your truck, and the ball attaches to it. And I got one from a well-known U.S. manufacturer. I got it at the Chinese factory outlet. And it had the name Reese on it, R-E-E-S-E. I've used Reese hitches for years, decades, and they were great. Well, I put this thing in, and it was wrapped in a plastic label, so you really couldn't see where the pivot point was on this, where the pin goes through into the receiver. Well, I got it home, I took the knife, and I found the point where I would cut the label with the point of the knife so I could put the pin through this ball mount. And the end of the ball mount was, on average, it was sliced on a diagonal, 1.5 inches from the center point of the pin that holds it together, which really means it's so short that it wobbles up and down in the receiver. And I didn't know where it was because it was all hidden by this label. I put it on the trailer hitch, put the trailer on, and the trailer was banging, banging, banging. It was horrible. It took about a 20-mile ride to get to my next destination, and I couldn't stand it anymore. Took the hitch off, brought it back in the house, and I called Reese, and I said, I'd like to tell you about this hitch. And I explained it, and the technical support person said, you know what? You're right. You're right. You need to get a better ball mount. And this one was made in China. So I went to other places to look, and you know what? They're made in China. I don't know if we can really find one made
factory and then distributed by 20 subdirectories, where brand name. Mm-hmm. There's no longer cheapest at Best Buy. Snap-on, Craftsman do not exist as a concept anymore.
Yeah, and so we are really trapped. So we are literally forced to buy Chinese products. I want to tell you about something that happened to me a couple weeks ago. I went to, this will probably continue on into the next segment, but I got on the computer and I decided that I was going to get some stolen property back. And so I got on the internet and I went to the Social Security website and I decided to get the money that was stolen from me back. And Mrs. Finelli decided she was going to do the same thing. So we sat at the computer and logged into the government website to, I guess that's called apply for Social Security benefits, which really means get some of our stolen property back. And I got locked out. So Mrs. Finelli got on the website to and they say it's really easy. Just go online and within a couple minutes, your benefits are going to be processed, or the application is going to be processed. She got locked out. So we called Social Security, and they said, okay, yeah, you're going to have to come in, and we can get you in really quickly. It's going to be 3 weeks. So we have this appointment to go into Social Security, and we showed up, and we had been in that office to help my parents many years ago, but they've improved it. They still have that armed security guard. He's in uniform, big guy. He's got a gun, high-capacity magazine. He's got all the accoutrements that you'd expect a police officer to have. And he lets us into this vestibule area, and then you have to be allowed into the waiting room. Well, it says no weapons. So I pull this little folded knife out of my pocket, and I look through the window, and I smile, and he goes, no, put it in your car. He's motioning to me to put my little pocket knife in my car. So I take that out, and I make sure I don't have any sharp objects that I can hurt myself with, and I leave them all in the car, and I go into the waiting room, and everybody's facing forward on these folding type chairs, like these uncomfortable chairs that you might find in the basement of a church. Well, everybody's facing, watching this television that's, playing Social Security commercials. I'll tell you what happened next when we come back from these commercial announcements.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else. Except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit usaprepares.com. That's usaprepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. usaprepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February, for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Class, Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. So, Rick, I was in this Social Security office waiting room, and they have these very uncomfortable chairs there. And the security guard is watching, and I decided that, everybody's just sitting watching this television that was didn't have volume going on, but they were, video commercials for Social Security. So I decided to make the best use of my time. Now, some people might say that I'm disruptive wherever I go. So I decided to teach a class. I literally decided to teach a class in this Social Security office. Well,
you're going to hurt yourself.
Well, you kind of know how I am, right? I mean, you wouldn't expect it. Can you visualize me just kind of taking over? Well, I was teaching this class. And the reason I did that is I figured, I was on time for my appointment, and I wanted to make the best use of my time. And I figured that if I were teaching this class, they'd want me out of there right away, and I would get right to being processed. And that's what happened. They decided that my number was next, and they called us. And Mrs. Finelli and I went to the back, and we walked down this hall, and they have these little study carrel type things, and that's where you get to meet your Social Security employee. And they're behind this glass. And they've decorated this place so that there's this piece of glass between you and them. And to the right, let's say the glass is 2 feet wide, and there's maybe a 4-inch area that your voice can travel around the glass so that so you can hear each other. And then there's a small area underneath the glass where you could slip pieces of paper for signatures and so forth. And I commented to the woman behind the glass. I said, wow, who decorated this place? It's really kind of inconvenient, because I was leaning against the side of the carrel to talk to her, and she thought that was really strange, that, I wouldn't just face her and talk through the glass. I made it as obvious as possible that I was really not pleased, but big smile on my face. That, gee, this is really kind of difficult leaning over like this to talk to you. And she said, well, that glass was put there to protect us so that people wouldn't come jumping over the counter and attack us. The point I'm trying to make is that these government employees are in fear of their lives because of what those who tell them what to do. They're made to do things that they don't like. They're made to do things that are not fair. And some of their clients do not like the benefits that they don't receive, and they're angry. So to keep the employees relatively safe, they have bars and glass to protect the employees from the villagers. That's what government has gotten to. And if you notice, they've got the police in the waiting room. They have, at municipal buildings, they have these concrete flower pots that are, several hundred pounds. So if you get annoyed and decide to drive your car or truck through the front window, you can't. I mean, these guys are afraid. You go to the police department, and the police are behind bulletproof glass walls. They're afraid that the villagers are going to get angry. That's where we have come.
Yeah, it's a changing world. It's really unfortunate.
But on the positive side, I'd like to mention something that was very, very nice that happened to me and Mrs. Finelli. We were traveling along the Interstate 64 in Kentucky. It was getting dark, and we had our headlights on in the truck, my 2004 Chevy truck. And instrument light came on saying that the battery was not charging. Red light, warning, warning. I looked at the voltmeter, and the voltmeter was dropping. So it was clear to me that the alternator had failed. That was my initial diagnosis. So I picked up the speed, and we looked for an automotive store, and we found in Frankfort, Kentucky, an Advance Auto. Pulled into Advance Auto. I was driving down the interstate, with my lights off, except using my turn signals to change lanes. Got into this automotive store called Advanced Auto, and I explained that I needed to have the alternator checked, but I believed I needed an alternator, and they said there were 3 that fit the vehicle. Well, they had it. They had the one I thought it was, and I'll tell you the rest of the story. It's a really nice story about nice people and what can happen when people have honesty and integrity and want to do the right thing and are allowed to do the right thing. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation Defender from Reputation.com can help you protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation Defender right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
So, class, let me make this story pretty quick. So I was traveling on the interstate through Kentucky. I was about 500 miles, actually a little over 500 miles from the farm. And it was getting dark, and the alternator failed. I diagnosed that while I was driving. And I found an Advanced Auto store, pulled in, and there were two girls behind the counter and a young man. And I said, wow, this is great. Ladies behind the counter. That's a refreshing change. And it just so happened, I didn't realize it at the time, but one of the ladies was the store manager. And she was with another customer. And this young man named Cody was assisting me. And I explained what the vehicle was. And I asked them if they had that particular alternator, and there were several of them. And I said, no, that's the 105 amp one is the one I need. And it was $99 plus a core charge. Well, I had to change it in the parking lot because I wasn't going anywhere because I had maybe 1 or 2 starts left in the truck, and I certainly couldn't run the lights, and I would have drained the battery, and I would have been stranded. So the young man was new, and she was assisted by the store manager, a gal by the name of Bobby Harrod. And so she helped me. We determined which alternator I needed. He took the charge tester, and we went outside and hooked it all up. And yep, sure enough, it was the alternator. And this young man was so nice. He said, sir, if you need help, I can help you, or I can do it for you. I can put that in right, I'll put that alternator in for you right here in the parking lot because it looks like you're not going anywhere. And so I said, no, I think I can do it. And he said, well, here's our rolling tool cart. Here are all our tools. Here's some gloves. Do you need a light? Let me get you this light. And he got me a light. And he kept checking on me, every few minutes to make sure I was okay. Now, the store manager said to me, she kind of thought that I knew a little bit about automotive stuff. And she said, do you have a commercial account with us? And I said, well, I used to in Virginia, but that was about 10 years ago. And she said, okay, well, so she instructed the young man to give me 10% off because I had a commercial account at one time. And then the court charge came up, and she said, no, he's right outside. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to run off with the old alternator. He's going to bring it right inside, so don't worry about the court charge. So what I'm saying, Rick, is here's a situation where Advance Auto did absolutely everything they could to help me to make it a bad situation quite pleasant. And I'm delighted to say that, whenever I need something, I will absolutely positively consider Advance Auto Parts as my first choice if I'm traveling and I'm in their market area. Isn't that
the letter you write to their corporate? Because I think those are, what do they call those, like franchises?
Well, I think these are company stores, but the managers do get attaboys and
here in Grants Pass.
Yeah, and it was so kind because they could have treated me the way Social Security treats us, expecting us to be ready to attack them or something. But that's not what they did. They said, "Don't worry about the court charge. He's right outside." Rick, they absolutely believed that I was not going to steal from them. They believed that what I said was true. They didn't even look up to see if I had a commercial account. They believed me.
Well, rural Kentucky. Good,
yeah.
That's where Daniel Boone came from. Get a grip. This is the part of America that I miss. That's the America I remember as a boy, that people were there to try to help each other.
Mm-hmm. So this young man, it was very kind of him. He was, early 20s. He was new on the job, and he really wanted to make sure that Vinny put the alternator in right. He was checking it to make sure I did it right. And, he didn't know, what my level of experience with automobile electronics and mechanics were. He had no idea. But he wanted to make sure that this older guy and his wife got on their way safely. And so did the store manager.
Yeah, that's what makes our life worth living. People like that, and events and memories.
Mm-hmm. So my congratulations to Bobby Harrod, the store manager in Frankfort, Kentucky, and Cody and the Advance Auto team for allowing them to do that kind of stuff. Now, my mother-in-law and father-in-law had a flat tire in Virginia, and a UPS driver stopped to help them. And we knew most of the UPS drivers.
By the way, his job is on clock. They're timing him, which means if he's late helping somebody,
right,
he will lose his job.
That's exactly right. Because what happened was I asked my mother-in-law and father-in-law to describe the person. And I said, I know who that is. So I called him up to thank him and, off duty. And said, I wanted to call UPS and let them know how kind they were. And he said, absolutely, don't do that.
Get him in trouble. That's right. Policy, company policy.
Right.
And individuals.
That's exactly right. So there is some good news. And if other companies could take the lead and copy the example from Advance Auto, I think things would be much, much better. Rick,
we have a problem here in Grants Pass. My girlfriend going to the courthouse with me to try and get this clerical error where I'm being sued, and it wasn't my situation. It was a clerical error. They put the wrong name down, and now I'm responsible. And we did a motion to change case caption, and it was denied. And so then I went for a case caption, a motion reconsideration. And because the counter lawyer figures I have more money, she said, well, he didn't include a memorandum. I did. And the judge denied it again. And I had asked for a court hearing where I could simply explain the problem so that it was a simple thing. And the court denied my day in court. Now, theoretically, they're not allowed to do that. And it was a pro tem judge that did it. They said, well, what can I do now? Well, you can write a letter to the editor. I don't want to be angry, and I don't want to waste my time chasing windmills. What I want is the corrected problem. And my girlfriend said, when I went in there, it's completely different. They don't care about the public. It's lifeless. There's no structure here, and they're just putting their time in, and I'm just a number, and they don't care.
Okay, let's put an exclamation point on
with our civil servants.
Let's put an exclamation point on that. In South Wales, this motorist ran out of fuel. So a motorist is traveling along, ran out of gasoline, and a cop fines this motorist $87 for running out of fuel. Now, whatever happened, would Andy of Mayberry do that? Would Andy of Mayberry say, hey, what are you doing? You ran out of fuel. You're clogging everything up. We're going to, fine you. No, Andy of Mayberry would call Barney and say, hey, Barney, can you come help me push this car to the side here? And on your way, would you get that red can and get some gasoline, please? And we'll put it in this guy's vehicle and help him get on his way. Can you do that? Or Andy would open up his own trunk and take out the gasoline can. Or Andy would go and take this motorist to the gas station to get some fuel. Or Andy would get the fuel himself. That's what would have happened. But no, in South Wales, this person ran out of fuel and got fined $87. Well, here's what happened.
Because it's about money, and what they're doing is trying to hit the people that can't pay for it, because then it puts a control system on them. That person ran out of gas, probably didn't have the money to keep the tank full like most people think they should.
That was my take as well, Rick, because I personally don't enjoy running my truck on fumes, saying this is the coolest thing. I've got 1/64th of a tank of fuel. This is a lot of fun. No, I try to keep the tank full. Well, here's what happened. The villagers sent in death threats to this cop. Death threats, because the cop is out of control. Now that cop is not on duty, probably being paid, to not be out in public, because the cops' actions were unacceptable. So the villagers have sent death threats to this particular cop. Now the cops are being told, you know what, this isn't such a good idea, giving people tickets for things like this. Maybe we should lay low for a while till things calm down. Then we can fire up these tickets again. Well, I think it's kind of an interesting response that the villagers have had against the cops. And now what we're seeing is now the cops are in fear of the villagers. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way, because we're in charge, or we used to be in charge. So,
I guess
bravo
that's why they have the bulletproof glass in front of where they take your police report.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Rick, I went to a meeting in a city where they were talking about Neighborhood Watch. So they had these three guys in uniform in front of this meeting group, and I just kind of wandered in, Colombo, and I just sat down, and nobody knew who I was. And they were talking about, if you see something, give us a call. Give us a call, because look, if you expect, the sheriff to send somebody out to your neighborhood, we need to have a history of reports for your neighborhood. So we are more likely to send someone out if we have a lot of incidents for a specific issue in your neighborhood. So, for example, if let's say it's a mailbox that gets vandalized. So if we have a bunch of reports on mailbox vandalism, we're more likely to come out than if you just call us and say, hey, someone just is bashing into my mailbox right now. Can you come? So these villagers are being conditioned to report, and maybe have the expectation that with more reports, somebody might show up. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts, because we expected those guys to show up when we call them if we have an issue. Well, one of the cops looked at me, just turned to me and said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm not from here. I'm not from here. I was 1,000 miles away. So I'm not from here. I'm from Missouri. And yeah, we have our own neighborhood watch, and we had some poachers, but we took care of them." What I didn't tell him was that we had an armed patrol, and we did the patrolling of our village to stop people from shooting off the road. And you know what? I don't think we need all these cops. I'd like to see us fire 90% of them. That would be a really good start. Let's fire 90% of the cops. We'll be right back right after these few short commercial announcements. I'd like to ask Rick about rising sea levels. What's his concern? Rick, are you concerned about rising sea levels and the cities that will be underwater in the future? Let's talk about that when we come back.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. You can legally own a rifle. You can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to KatieArmor.com. Come and take it.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. DocRam.com, DocRam.com. Tomorrow, just a quick announcement. Tomorrow, 2 hours with Miles from Europe, and we're going to be talking about canon law, tacit agreements, securing assets, and the new business models in crisis. Okay, that is Miles tomorrow. 2 hours right here on USAPrepares.com. Rick, sea levels rising. Is that a big concern of yours?
It absolutely is. The global warming is a shill to the fact that we are, the Gulf Stream is now no longer running. I have a post on there where the hole is filled with oil on the bottom, and it has literally stopped the Gulf Stream, and it's going to have a reboot, just like the currents in Europe. And with Antarctica dropping fresh water glacial into the oceans, it's not about icebergs floating around and the displacement of raising the water. It's new water going in that is literally desalinating the levels of ocean current. And with that is how an ice age. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a serious epoch type like with dinosaurs or a mini one like on the movie Day After Tomorrow. But there will be a superstorm occur in the next 4 years. Literally, it has to happen by 2025. I'm guessing in the next 2 years, 2019, maybe 2017. It has to happen. There's no way around it. It has happened in the past. It is overdue. And right now, the oceans are 2 degrees above what brought on the Jurassic period, where we found dinosaurs with fresh food in their mouth. That's how quickly the storm will happen, just like in the movies.
Rick, Fukushima, no solution, right?
Well, in that regard, that right now, Japan it's lit up like a candle. As we all know, there is no viable solution yet on how to correct what is now occurring daily on every moment, and no plan for that. And there is going to be a need immediately for the world to come in on an intervention. Something has to be done, because Fukushima is now dropping RADCON 3, RADCON 4 level alerts in America. Aircraft is being fatigued by the ionizing radiation, and our exposure ratios have quadrupled, literally, since Fukushima. everybody. You can measure it.
What you're talking about is the radiation that is circling the planet.
Yeah,
and
it's up in the stratosphere. It's another Van Allen belt, if you will, that astronauts, etc., have to go through. That is limiting the health ability. You know, people don't seem to realize the Van Allen belt is so bad that when astronauts go through it, there is a high likelihood they're never going to have children again. That's how bad it is. And now we've got a second layer with Fukushima particulate up there. And nobody's talking about that, but there it is. And it's fatiguing the aircraft. It's the grommets between joints are rotting out because of the ionizing radiation. And right now, Marine Array has sent me top secret documents indicating that the military already have a body count from aircraft crashing.
Rick, are you saying that there are military deaths as a result of flying aircraft that are falling apart because of the...
I saw, yes, sir. And I saw multiple reports on that, not one. And there's a body count. Yeah.
You know, Rick, a lot of what we talk about is pretty scary stuff, and I hope more and more people pay attention to what you say. I certainly do.
I wished I knew for a fact. That's the problem.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller, thanks so much for being with us today, as every Thursday. I appreciate your friendship. I know our class appreciates what you do for us. Thank you very much. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Texas and Colorado, Radcon 4, right now.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.